Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920 and it's time for the epic interview. Yes, folks, I honestly know that it's been a long-ass time since I've actually done one of these, but, you know, I actually was still able to go through the list of ridiculously old, questions, and I was still able to pluck out a few. I believe I've got 5 of them this time around. So yeah, why don't we just kick things off with our very first question.
What is your opinion on 3D movies and TV?
You know, it actually is kind of sad that I opted to stop, ranting when I did, because, yeah, it really does suck, because one of the things I wanted to do a rant on, but I just couldn't get a good enough video done for it, was 3D. Because a lot of people have been asking me what my thoughts are on 3D, similar to the person who sent this question. Anyway, my thoughts on 3D. It was a shitty fad in the 1950s, or 60s, one of those two. It was a shitty fad in the 1980s. It's still a shitty fad today, okay? To me, 3D is completely unnecessary and pointless, okay? I have yet to see any films in 3D, outside of, the few times I attempted to watch 3D movies and 3D television back in the 90s, back when 3D was trying to, bring itself out again as the next big fucking innovation. But nowadays, guys, 3D is just this mindless gimmick which is tacked on to force people who go to theaters to spend an extra $5 for a pair of glasses. And frankly, to me, that is fucking shameful, because most movies out there now are pieces of crap anyway, and I really don't see the need to spend extra money so that way everything looks like it's coming out at you. All right, that just doesn't seem right to me. All right. However, I think it actually is a good thing that I stopped ranting, because if I were to put together a halfway decent rant against, 3D movies, I can tell right now that there would have been a ton of videos and comments bitching at me because 3D is so fucking awesome. No, it isn't. Piss off. Okay. Wow, I honestly am starting off this fucking episode on a real high note, huh? Alright, why don't we take a look at question number 2, shall we?
What do I have to do to get my questions answered from you?
Well, dude, you just have to ask interesting questions and I'll hopefully answer them. Except in this instance where you wanted to be a smartass and I thought I'd be an equally big fucking smartass and just answer this. Yeah, you guys have to send in questions that I can actually work with. I mean, I honestly am not really up for answering real basic shit. So I usually skip over those. Or if it's something that I really can't answer and keep it fucking interesting, or if it's something that's a little bit too personal, I really don't want to touch those. So basically, a whole lot of these questions are all pretty good ones, and well, there we go, dude. You happy? I was able to answer your, question, and you just had to ask. By the way, nobody else is getting that treatment, so please don't, bother. Okay, let's check out our next question.
Has anyone recognized you in real life as Hellsing920?
One time. Well, it was technically twice, but only one time the person actually knew me by my screen name. I guess I should explain the first time. First time it was shortly after I put out my Dragon Ball Fanboy Chronicles, and of course this is when Dragon Ball Evolution had just come out in theaters, and I was in a GameStop, and there was this guy who saw it and was just and he was just like talking about it. And I was over by the checkout, and so was he, and I just, then I just asked him, how was it? And he looked over at me and said, holy shit, dude, you actually are the guy who made that fucking video. I swear to God, that's exactly what he said. He didn't know me by name, he just knew of the video, which I thought was kind of interesting. The other time was actually a little bit more recent. I think it was maybe about a month to a month and a half ago. I was hanging out with my brother, and we were in Appleton. It's a slightly larger town that's closer to here, and a woman walked up and just very politely asked if I was Hellsing, and I went, yeah. And we actually chatted for maybe like a minute. It was really, really quick, and she had a photo taken with me. I actually kind of wish that I could have gotten her name, and then I would have mentioned it here. But sadly, I didn't get that because the meeting was so brief. Beyond that, though, no one else has ever really, seen me and went, oh, holy shit, guys, it's Hellsing. That's never happened. So. Okay, why don't we check out our next question here, since I actually am in a pretty, good mood, today.
Do you read any DC comics?
Excuse me, what? Oh, DC Comics? Fuck no, man, no, Marvel, yes, Image, maybe, Dark Horse, occasionally, but DC? Fuck no, man, never. I have never read a DC book in my entire life. Just simply because, DC Comics are for fucking pussies, Fuck all of them. And for those of you who aren't getting the joke, yes, I do read DC. In fact, I read DC more than anything else, just to be totally fair. In fact, this book here, this is a mini-series called Emperor Joker. This thing is fantastic, and that actually is saying a whole lot coming, from me, because I'm not a big fan of Superman. So, yeah, just actually to answer that question, yes, I do read DC. I love DC. In fact, I'm hoping to actually cover a few more DC titles in the Long Box Chronicles in the near future. And with that, guys, we have come to the close of this installment of the Epic Interview. And as always, if you guys have any questions, and I mean any questions, feel free to send them in. And hey, who knows? I actually might, answer them. It all just depends on if I see it, and then I put it in my big ass my little text file of questions, and hopefully, yeah, I will get around to answering them soon. In fact, actually, some of these questions are ridiculously old. Some of them, I believe, are around a year old. So it has taken me a while to actually go through these, and well, shit happens. So guys, until next time, this is Hellsing920 saying take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.